Well, as I understand it, all issues have been resolved with ASU, except for the backlog of salaries and arrears, which are accrued during the period that the lecturers are on strike. Federal government appears to be saying no work, no pay, and ASU will not have any of that. First, we must ask ourselves whether Nigerian law allows such a contention. That is to say, whether no work, no pay is something that can be justified within the ambit of the law. And I'm speaking from section 43 of the Trade Dispute Act, which kind of suggests that no work, no pay is part of our labor law jurisprudence. That is to say, the employer, in case of strike as this particular one, may insist that salaries will not be paid during the period of strike. Now, that is the law. What about the morality of that law? The morality in what sense? In the sense that it will be unfair to unleash, I will use that word unleash, on Nigerian students, lecturers who will end up becoming bitter about their jobs because you have denied them the right to a living. They also have families and they have certain economic interests they are also going to be catering for. So when you say no work, no pay, because your law says so, what about the morality of that law? The purpose of every law is to improve lives. So if a law is designed in a way that lives will not be improved, such a law is not a good law. So what I'm saying is that the federal government should be more morally inclined to look away from Section 43 of the Trade Dispute Act by paying all the arrears of salaries, irrespective of the fact that these salaries were accrued during the ASU strike. This coming election is is an election that is going to be filled with surprises. For me, the surprises are not going to be the surprises of results of landslide victories for any of the candidates. There is what you have in Nigeria now, a high pitch level of political awareness. Almost everyone, including young school leavers, are discussing politics. Whether they are discussing it on the periphery level or they are discussing it jurisprudentially, the point is that people are now aware of the potentials that their vote could be for them. Okay, they know that the votes are now serious things in their hands. It can change their lives. They can change their social status. So they are prepared. People have never been prepared to vote like this in Nigeria before, except for 1993. Now people are prepared to vote, and of course, there are a lot of sentiments as relates to that election. You have the obedient on one side, you have those who are pacified on one side, and you have those who are articulate on one side. So it means that Nigerians now have the awareness as to where or who or which of the political parties they are going to pitch their tent with. For those who have said the APC, look, there is nothing you want to talk about, say to them about APC that will convince them. They feel APC has done very well, even though there are a lot of challenges in the areas of security. Okay? And there are those who feel Atiku, yes, he has seen it all. If he comes into office, he's not likely to steal or encourage corruption. For Obi, people feel Obi is of the new stock. And these old brigades need to go and sit down somewhere and let someone who is younger, who is vibrant now used in relative term. Because being young doesn't mean you are vibrant, but for them, Obi is younger compared to the others, and he has a track record. So when you look at all of these three candidates, including Ashwaju himself, who has got some serious segment of the elite rooting for him, because they believe, irrespective of his age, he has the requisite experience. He's someone who wants to hit the ground running. So they are all having the right frame of mind for Nigeria. That is to say, they want to lead. Nobody is pushing anybody. Okay? So it's left for Nigerians now to decide which of these candidates is going to make Nigeria a dream come true for all of us. Buhari cannot police every appointee, and it is a shame that some of these appointees spoil themselves with the spoil of office upon being appointed as maybe minister or SA or what have you. So there is nothing that Buhari can do than to ensure that if he has to take any action, these actions are founded on concrete facts. Because don't forget, we are in political era. People churn out all sort of fake news just to get to somebody's office. Okay? You have to be able to establish some of these things. Some of these things you hear that one minister or one appointee has embezzled 10 billion naira. At the end of the day, we find it so difficult to prosecute because the evidence we have is the evidence you find on social media. Okay? But for me, I would expect that our anti-graft agencies are run in a way where intelligence precedes investigation. Because what you find in Nigeria is a system where investigation comes before intelligence. Nobody gathers facts. Our agencies wait for social media whistleblower to say, oh, one minister. No. It means when you listen to that, when you are moved by such narrative or sentiment, it means you want to start investigation before intelligence. You have to gather your intelligence. Is it what you have gathered that will lead to intelligence? And the reason for not having that type of system is because even in our anti-graft agencies, you have so many people there who are not supposed to be there because they lack the knowledge, they lack the requisite training, they lack the acumen to be in anti-graft agency. They don't understand why they are there. Some of them are there because of quota system. There are those who can even speak well. And you ask yourself, someone who can speak very well, who can write very well, you ask him to go and investigate a crime involving billions of dollars, you will get confused. And when a public servant is confused about a transaction, the next available option for him is bribe. Issue of security in any society is the responsibility of every member of that society. There is nowhere in the world where you have a group of citizens numbering up to 10,000 saying that they are prepared to die. Any society that have people like that will have problems. Okay? America has never fought terrorism in America before. So Nigeria is a country that deserves credit by comparison in terms of fighting terrorism within our borders. America, Britain, Germany, even I'm talking about all the civilized nations of Europe and America. They have not fought terrorism in their country before. All they have done is to fight terrorism outside of their country. If some of them were to be faced with Nigeria kind of terrorism, they will not be existing again as a country. Anywhere you have people who have sworn to become belligerents or terrorists, then you must know that it's not something you can hold government 100% responsible for. But of course, you must look at the etiology, the causes. What is the origin of terrorism in any society, apart from people being wrongly indoctrinated? The major origin is lack of social infrastructure that will lead to poverty. When people are poor, they become a recruitment base for any terrorist. So it's not something you can blame Buhari for. It's not something you can even blame Jonathan for. I'm not saying that insecurity in Nigeria does not have a political undertone. I am not saying that. I'm saying that the reason why you have so much killing is because there is lack of social infrastructures. People cannot realize their dreams. In the North, there has been a systemic failure in terms of the strata of social infrastructure. Jonathan was going to address it when he built the Almajirin school. What he was doing was to employ the institutional method. That is to say, I'm going to thin down your recruitment base. All these children are not in school. I'll put them in school. I'll feed them. I'll clothe them. I'll make sure that they have access to stipend. So the idea of giving them all of these is to make them weigh the advantage in either living a normal life where their dreams will likely come true and becoming a terrorist where their life is not guaranteed. They can be killed at any time. Okay? So you cannot score Buhari 0/100 or 0/10 on the issue of security. Of course, people will say because he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, we should hold him responsible. We can hold him responsible only administratively. So there is no amount of effort that Buhari is putting in now. Nigeria will continue to ask for more until people can go about their daily activities without the fear of being kidnapped. And as to what happened in the Southeast, it's still the same thing. When there's a problem, there's a disconnect with social arrangements, people will take laws into their hands. For those who think that Africa should not have shown, you know, any sign of condolence over the passing of the Queen, their excuse is that the Queen and her family are responsible for the loss of lives and properties in Africa, and that in fact they are responsible for genocide during Biafra. But then, on the other end, this type of condolence is an act of international courtesy. It does not mean that showing courtesy is an admission that you agree hook, line, and sinker with what the Queen and her family has done, in parentheses, okay? But for me, even if the Queen and her family were responsible for the colonization of Africa, what about the intra colonization of Africans by Africans? How do we address that? There is poverty in almost all parts of Africa. Okay? The other day I was watching a documentary on the Al Jazeera about Lesotho, and I was shocked to find out that potable water is so scarce in Maseru. Are we going to hold the Queen for that? In Nigeria, we have been independent since 1960, became a republic in 63. But today, do we look like a country that has been independent for such a long time? We are not different from Haiti. The only difference is that we are more educated. Are you going to blame the Queen for that? A former accountant general of the Federation was involved in corruption to the tune of 90 billion naira, allegedly. Are we going to hold the Queen responsible for that? In the last couple of years, you have seen that the Queen, as the head of Commonwealth, has supported many African countries, including NGOs relating with Africa in critical area of need. So it is for me petty or pedestrian to say because the Queen and her family were responsible for, colonizing Africa, therefore we should not show our condolences on occasion like this. Is for me, it's a low one. Showing condolences at this point in time by Nigeria or by any of the African countries is an act of international courtesy. We lose nothing by showing our condolences. We lose nothing.